Hi, boys and girls. It's time for Chapter 4 of Hank the Cowdog. This is Book 3 in the series of Hank the Cowdog books. Again, there's about 30 or so of the books in the series. This one, It's a Dog's Life, Chapter 4. The Case is Solved. I took one last look at the calendar. End of the month clearance sale, Stockman's Western Store. I heard Sally Mae gasp at the other room. My cactus! What on earth? I was sitting there in the midst of the steak blood, trying to decide what to do, when she appeared in the doorway. She looked at me and her mouth dropped open. Hank, what are you doing in here? I gave her a smile and started whapping my tail on the bloody floor as to say, Hi, Sally Mae, how's it going? I just got here and discovered that somebody stole your steak, so to speak, and I realize that the evidence looks very damaging for me, but I would urge you not to leap to any hasty conclusions. She was carrying the baby in one arm and a bag of groceries in the other. She set them down on the floor, reached into the closet, and came out with a broom. Her face was red, and there were thunderclouds in her eyes. You ate our lunch, you sorry, good-for-nothing, stinking cowdog, and look at this mess. How could I look at the mess when she was trying to hit me with the broom? Whap! She got me on the back. I tried to run. I would have been glad to get out of her house, but she had the door blocked. I ran in a circle and whap! She got me again. So I did the only sensible thing a dog in fear of his life could do. I jumped up on the dinner table. Was it my fault the jelly jar fell off and broke? Was it my fault that she swung at me and hit the sugar bowl instead? I've always been the kind of dog who could take a hint. I can tell when I'm not wanted. When Sally Mae drew back her broom for another shot, I leaped off the table, ran between her legs, shot through the door, sprinted across the living room, and made a flying leap through the window. And then I ran for my life. I went down to the feed barn, figured that would be the safest place for a dog with a price on his head. The door on the feed barn was warped at the bottom, and I squeezed through and took refuge inside. I went to the darkest corner and hid between two bales of prairie hay. After a bit, I heard the pickup and stock trailer pull up to the corral. The cowboys had come in for lunch, and they were putting their horses in the side lot. I could hear them talking and laughing about some extraordinary roping feat they had performed that morning. They took their roping serious, those two guys. It didn't bother them in the least that most of the sane and intelligent people in the world not only couldn't rope, but didn't even want to learn. They seemed to think that if a guy could throw a rope, he was something special. I won't comment on that. I have no tacky remarks to make about grown men who walk around swinging ropes. I learned long ago not to pass judgment on others, no matter how crazy they act. Well, the cowboys headed for the house. I could hear their spurs jingling. The back door opened and closed. Exactly 1 minute, 32 seconds later, the door opened again, and I heard High Loper's voice. Hank, come here, you sorry devil. When I get my hands on you... I couldn't make out the last part. Wind was banging a piece of loose tin on the roof. If I'd had any say-so in the matter, that roof would have been fixed years ago, but nobody ever listens to Hank. Anyway, I couldn't make out the last part, but I didn't really need to. Loper wasn't calling to wish me happy birthday. He yelled for a while, then went back inside. Everything got quiet. I wondered what they were having for lunch. Whatever it was, you can be sure they didn't starve. You've got to put all this into perspective. Loper had missed one steak dinner, right? One meal. Just one meal out of a whole lifetime. Okay, then you have me, the head of ranch security, who had put in years of faithful service and had eaten scraps, garbage, tasteless dry dog food, and an occasional rabbit. Wasn't I entitled to one steak dinner? Was that too much to ask for a whole lifetime? Hence, through simple logic, we discover that Sally Mae and Loper had absolutely no right to be mad at me for eating a few crummy little steaks off their table. Not only that, but Sally Mae had been negligent in leaving the stakes unguarded. So, there you go. Well, the noon hour came and went. I heard the vigilantes out looking for me, but I laid low, and they didn't find me. Finally, they went back to work. I'm sure that broke their hearts, having to do a little work for a change. When things quieted down, I heard Drover creeping around outside. "Hank, you down here? You can come out now." I stuck my head through the crack in the door, checked in all directions, and slithered out. "Oh, there you are. Boy, you sure got 'em mad at the house. What did you do this time?" "What do you mean, this time? This ain't something I do every day for sport." "No, I guess not. What did you do this time?" I told him the story. And as you can see, I was just doing my job, and they've got no right to be sore at me. "I see what you mean. Let's see. You knocked over the cactus, you pulled the steak dish off the table, you busted the dish, you got blood all over the kitchen, and then you ate the steaks and knocked off the jelly jar. Well, that's what Sally Mae was so mad about." See, that's my point right there. I mean, your first reaction was the same as mine. I just don't know. I don't know at all. Maybe she and Loper had a fight this morning. Maybe the moon was in the wrong place. Maybe she was worried about the end of the world. Which brings us back to our investigation, Drover, and another little matter which you won't enjoy hearing about. Uh-oh. That's a good way to put it. I cleared my throat. Drover, I'm afraid I must point out that you left your post in a combat situation, ran to the machine shed, abandoned your superior when he was trapped in the house with a frenzied, dangerous, possible crazy woman, and otherwise behaved in a disgraceful, chicken-hearted manner. Drover looked down at his feet. "Well, I guess I was scared, Hank, and spare me the details. Ordinarily, this kind of coward behavior would have to be written up and put in your dossier. But I'm willing to forget the whole thing if you'll give me one small piece of information." His face brightened and he started wagging his stub tail. "Sure, Hank, anything you want to know, just ask me anything." I smiled, bent down to his ear, and whispered, "Who first told you that the world is going to end tomorrow at 3 o'clock? "Well, let's see." He scratched his head. "Was it you?" "No, think a little harder." "Well, gosh, I can't remember, Hank. Here's a little hint. Was it by any chance a cat?" "A cat. A cat. Let's see now. You were asleep, and I was up by the yard gate this morning, and do you reckon it could have been Pete?" I glanced off to the east and saw Pete basking in the sun beside the garden gate. He was purring and washing himself, which means that he was spitting in his paw and wiping the spit all over his face. That's the way the cat takes a bath. I take tremendous pride in my personal appearance. I cultivate a rich, manly smell. I bathe regularly in the sewer. Now, let's take a look at Pete. He takes a spit bath. Has anyone ever seen him in the sewer? No, sir. But has Sally Mae ever referred to him as a stinking cat? No. So there you are. And that's one of 24 reasons why I hate cats, and Pete in particular. I had to get that off my chest. Now, where was I? Well, Drover, we've broken the case. You mean the world's not going to end tomorrow? That's correct. Oh, what a relief. I tried not to show it, Hank, but I was mighty scared. But are you sure we're safe? I saw the calendar. It didn't say end of the world. It said end of the month clearance sale. Oh, boy, that's just wonderful. Is it? Well, maybe it's not. It may be good, Drover, but it's not wonderful. That's what I meant. It can't be wonderful because we were duped by the cat. You mean, yes, exactly. We broke the case, but consider the price. He cocked his head to one side. You mean at the clearance sale? No, that's not what I mean, Drover, not at all. I did a flawless penetration of the house, conducted a near-perfect investigation, broke the case wide open, but my position as head of ranch security has been compromised. How can I carry on my work when everyone on the ranch is mad at me? Huh? I hadn't thought of that. Well, it's time you thought about it, son, because I have no choice but to take leave of absence until this thing blows over. You mean? Exactly. I'm leaving the ranch today, and I'm liable to stay gone for a week, unless, of course, I'm offered a better position somewhere else. And then I may never come back. Oh, then that means... Exactly. You're in charge of security until I come back. Drover's jaw dropped. But Hank, I wouldn't live on any ranch that wouldn't have me in charge of its security. Nor would I, but that's the way this particular cookie has crumbled. So long, Drover. I'm hitting the road. I'll see you in a couple of weeks. Maybe. No, wait, Hank. Where are you going? What if I need some help? I'm going to town to visit my sister and maybe a couple of other women. If you get into a bind, if you need any help, if there's an emergency of any kind, don't hesitate to take care of it yourself. But Hank... Nope. So long, Drover. See you around. And with that, I marched through the sick pen, through the back lot, out the corrals, and headed north toward town. See you soon.